hope you're doing well. It's Lo from Custom Creations by Lo. I hope everybody is doing great today. And today I've decided to wing it. Just fly by the seat of my pants because I have 3 molds I want to do, but I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm going to do. All 3 molds are holographic. This one I've done before, the octagon, and you've seen that. But the 2 new ones is Hello Kitty and a square. Now I do have several colors out. We'll see how it goes. I have the peach, which is by epoxy resin. Well, I'm sorry, that's wrong. It's by the company, same company I've been using for my previous videos. I cannot pronounce the name, but I definitely will link it. I'm also using Bria Reese white, and I'm using Daley-Rowner Pearlescent pink. Now I have been experimenting with India inks in the resin, and so far it's really actually worked pretty good. So that's why we're using this pearlescent one. It is an India ink, not an acrylic or that kind of thing. So I'm going to be using and trying out for the first time today. I'm going to be using the Bond Crafter epoxy resin. And I've not used this before, but I definitely will link it in my, description. And so without further ado, let me get this mixed up and we will go on. Of course, put the gloves on. So far, I've not had any experiences, or bad experiences, I should say, with the epoxy resin in my hands. But definitely the UV resin, that's a very sensitive thing for me. So, I don't know if you've watched my other videos, but when I do UV resin, I have to wear 2 pairs of gloves. Not 1, but 2. So, I have 3 cups here, which I'll put our colors in once I've mixed up the epoxy resin. And we'll put that in there, and we'll mix it as we go. We might even do a little marbling. Like I said, this is an experimental thing. I don't know how these colors and this mix-up are going to work with these holographic. So let me get it mixed up. It's Bond Crafter is a 1-to-1, so I'll be using equal amounts of the A and the B. And I know that this one takes about 2.5 ounces. So judging by the size of the square one, I'm assuming, hopefully, that it's the same amount. And I think this little Hello Kitty will probably use a little bit less. But we'll see. If we have to mix it more, fine. If we have extra, fine. We'll just make something out of it and add it to my little baubles and bits. This is 1 cup. I've got like a whole bag and another bowl of them. So let me just get it measured out and let's go. Now I will not keep you for the whole mixing process because I may use my bubble remover and that's a little noisy. But if I stop, I'll bring you back. Sometimes things just don't go the way we plan. So let's get mixing. We will set these over here. Now, I don't know where you live at, but here today in North Carolina, where I reside at, it was almost the perfect weather day. It was warm, but the humidity was gone. So as I'm opening up this box of the Bond Crafters, you do get 2 little measuring cups 2 of their gloves, which I can't use, and then a part B and a part A, which each bottle is 8 ounces. And you also get the instructions and looks like 2 mixing sticks. Now, I ordered this trial off, I believe it was Claire's Crafty Corner. It may have been her, it may have been another one where you got half off of one set of these, so that made it like $7. So what did I do? I ordered 2. So it's still less than, $17 for each kit, which is a great price if you're just, for the first time trying out the resin. So let's see. I always put my part B in first. I'm going to go ahead and mix up 8 ounces, just because I know we got, let's see, 3, 3, 6. So yeah, so like I said, if we have extra, then that's great. Now, if you have not seen in one of my previous videos, I've seen a few crafters say this was in the box. They didn't know what it was for. Well, it's for cutting open your tops. So we're just going to do that. Makes it super simple. So there's our B. Let me put the lid on it because, folks, I can be somewhat accident prone. Alright, so we got this one open. Oop, just sent my remote flying. So sorry about that. And now we have A. So let's see. Yep, that's A. So like I said, I usually pour in B first. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to kind of adjust you there a little bit. And like I said, we're going to do 4 ounces each of B and 4 ounces each of A. Which basically will be half of each of these bottles, because like I said, each bottle has 8 ounces. And for a good testing of what I'm doing, it's the perfect size. And if we need more, like I said, fine. If we're not, or we need less, we'll just use extra. So now I'm putting part A in. And I have to say, it is, even unmixed, this resin is like super clear. I mean, it's almost like glass. And I haven't even mixed it yet. And I've heard from different resin artists that this is the real, Bondcrafter's resin is superb. So let me get a stick to stir this. And I'm using one that I've used before, because that means it's already sealed. Won't be adding additional bubbles. And that goes in with this resin here. I have also heard that Bondcrafters does not create a lot of bubbles when you stir it. And it also degasses really well on its own. And that's why I say I may or may not use my debubbler on this. So let's get this mixed. And always, if you're stirring your resin either by hand or by a mixer, say by Litz Resin or even a little hand mixer, I know that Tammy from Epoxy Me That uses, always make sure that you stir really well, that you mix your bottom, you scrape your sides, so that you get all of it mixed properly. Now I'm going to stir this for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then once I see that there's no striations in it, and I'm not seeing those little filament lines like you can see right now, then I'll know that it's, you know, really mixed as well as it should be. So while I'm stirring this and getting it all mixed up, I do want to take a minute or two just to say to each and every one of you that are watching, that have subscribed and shared it and liked it, thank you so very much. It means the world to me. I am a retired veteran, and you know, I'm not on here to, you know, make this my livelihood. I'm on it because I love to craft, and I do a lot of different crafts. And when I was introduced to resin, starting out spinning cups, which I truly enjoy and will eventually be showing you, I also watched all these videos where all these different items were being made, and I'm like, I want to do that. I do. And so I started doing it, and then I saw, you know, UV resin videos, and I was like, yeah, this is my craft. And again, I do a lot of different crafts. I mean, I've done repurposing, which you will get to see more of. I've shown a video on repurposing an item. And over the years, when I was still working, every Christmas, my team members always got a handmade item from me at Christmas. And there's a few people that are still there. They have every item I have ever made over the years. I've done button bouquets. I've done stomper trees. I've made my own night lights using like repurposed Glade solid deodorizers, and made them into like little night lights and stuff like that. So that's why I'm so excited, because I love to craft. I really do. And if I'm stressed or if I need just some time for me, that's what I want to do. Because it really is very relaxing. I've done acrylic pours, which is so, oh my gosh, it's so de-stressing, because, you know, you can't, like resin, you can't control what it's going to do. But a lot of the outcomes, oops, got that on my fingers. A lot of the outcomes, you know, are brilliant. They're gorgeous. And it's all just in the, you know, what happens. And I know there's a lot of folks in here that do crafts, and maybe they don't, but they like to watch them. Suffer from mental illness, such as depression or anxiety, panic attacks, that kind of thing. And doing crafts or even watching them can be very therapeutic. So if you're not doing them yourself, but you like watching them, that's great. Now, I don't know if y'all can see this, how crystal clear that is, but I am going to give it a few minutes to degas by itself. And then I'll add my colors in, and we will kind of go from there, because, you know, with the holographics, once you put the color in and you make that mold, you really can't add a whole lot into it. Otherwise, the holographic is kind of moot, and you won't see it. So that's why I'm doing the colors that I'm doing today. And we'll give that a minute or two. Sorry, had to pick up my little remote. So I'll bring you back once this is degassed, and if I decide to put in the bubble remover, and then I'll bring you back so we can finish mixing up our colors and pouring it. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so I've got this debubbled. It went in for like 5 minutes, and I have to say I'm pretty impressed with the Bond Crafter, because I mean it's pretty good, and I don't feel the heat up like I did with the other resin I was using. So let me get a few sticks, because we're going to be stirring some colors into this. We'll do it slow. I should have done it before I debubbled it, but I just wanted to see what it was like. All right, let me get one smaller stick here. There we go. So I'm going to shake up these colors really, really well. This will be the India ink, the white Library Reese, the pink is Daley-Rowner, and then the peach is from the brand that I've been using from Amazon that I cannot pronounce. So I'm going to pour a little bit, about half of each of these cups in here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add my color. First color is going to be this peach, which, having used it before, it usually comes out really like a neon pink. So put 4 drops in there. With the white, because I'm only doing the white and these 2 pinks in one. Goodness, if I can get it open, that is. There we go. Goodness gracious. All right. These bottles from breweries, I don't know what it is. They're hard to get closed. And 3, 4. And they're, once they have set a little bit, they're hard to open. So I don't know what their problem is. And shake this little one from Daley-Rowner. It has a little stopper dropper, so we're just going to squeeze that and get some in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll take 1, 2, 3, 4 in the white one. And then about the same from this one alcohol. 1, 2. We're just going to do 2 of that, and we'll see what they look like. All right, so we'll do the Rowney, the lighter pink first. And like I said, I have no idea what these colors are going to do with these holographic molds. Today is just all about experimenting. I just wanted to experiment, but also wanted to just kind of play with it a little bit, you know. May need a little more of this one. I did 4 more drops. It kind of has a shimmering to it. You can see that. It's not opaque, it's very translucent. But with the holographic, I'm hoping that will do well. So we'll let that sit for a minute. We'll go ahead and stir up the mixture of all 3 and see how that looks. Ooh, that might be pretty. I can definitely feel the resin warming up, and I can, like I said, it's pretty warm here, so putting it through the debubbler makes it warm up even faster. So that's why I'm kind of moving quick. Look at that, isn't that pretty? So this will be a lighter pink. And like I said, that was all three of the colors, the white, the peach, and the pink. And then last but not least, this is just the peach color, which, like I said, I don't know why it's like a neon pink when it says peach. It does it every time, so, and it is definitely translucent. You can already see that. And depending upon how these work out, I will be making another one of these or another one of these or two more of each one. I don't know yet. So I have a plan in my mind, but till I see how they work out, I really am not sure. So there is the translucent pink. I mean, it's a pretty neon. All right, so let's go ahead and take these out. I'll give them a little spritz of the alcohol. My bottle will work, which apparently doesn't. All right, and then we're going to take some of this clear. And y'all can see how clear that is. That's awesome. Just going to pour it straight in the middle. Try to do an equal amount for both of them. And I know the Sangria cat or Hello Kitty cat will definitely take less. So I'll split the remaining of this to the other two once we're added our colors. So let's set it over here. I'm going to move this box for right now because I keep trying to knock it into my resin. All right, so this is the pink, like I said. See if we can get this kind of spread a little bit. I'll also get me a dotting tool here because I can see some bubbles trying to rise up. And I know, you know, or you may or may not. Depends how new you are to resin, but if you put resin in and it separates or splits from the sides, that means you don't quite have enough to cover it. As you can see here, it's kind of split from the side. So I'm just moving this to clear around until I get the other colors in it. But I do want to get, you know, some of that in there. All right, I'm just gonna let that sit there for a minute. I need a smaller dotting tool, I think. Sounds kind of large on the end. Let me see, a smaller one. Yep. See the difference? So we're going with the small one. All right, I'm going to move this around on each of the other two, the clear. Now, I will say that this inspiration, hopefully that I'm doing on this pour, is two parts. One is from an inspiration from Tammy. It epoxy me that with her Hello Kitties. And then the other one is from another resin artist who, I want to say Laura's Design Studio, but I cannot remember exactly. So anyway, let's go ahead and pour this in. Isn't that a pretty pink? And I know that I'm going to need some more resin in this, but I want to get this level done. Okay. Go ahead and scrape that. Yeah, this one's going to need about another ounce or so. Yeah, probably another 2 ounces actually, which is fine. And it could sit here for a little while and start curing. As long as I don't let it cure 100%, I can come back in and do what I want to do and add another layer so that we don't have a, dividing line. So, but if you let it cure all the way and then you add some more, you will have another, oops, I went totally outside of that, a dividing line, and we'll split it so that you can actually see that. And we definitely don't want to do that. All right, so I think this cup is very well scraped. Because everybody knows that resin is not cheap, and this is not a cheap craft. So if you're trying to sell your products that you make and you're not sure how much to sell them for, go talk to one of the more experienced YouTubers, and they can kind of give you an idea what they sell their products for, so that you're not getting, underselling yourself. And of course, then you also don't want to overprice yourself. So, all right. So we got that one done. I'm going to take my stick. I don't know why I wiped it. Well, yeah, I'll use the dotting tool. I'm just going to go around here to these sides. There's a few bubbles in there. Just to get them to come up. There's one right there. And then I'm just going to take mix that in. And once I've done this a few times and I got the bubbles up to the surface, then I'll get my long handle lighter or my heat gun and get those bubbles popped. So we'll let it sit for a few minutes, and then while we go over here and do these other two. So now we're going to go to the Hello Kitty one. And the resin's starting to heat up, so I know I need to get a move on it. I do see a little bubble in there in the clear, so I'm going to go ahead and get that out. I think we got it. Yeah, okay. Let's just run our tool around this so we don't have no more. There we go. Okay. get it up around your little nib here, because apparently this is made for a keychain or something like that. For me, it would definitely be too big for a necklace or a pendant, but it would make a really good keychain or something for your purse. And dome that up a little bit. So we'll have a little extra on that. Make sure we get around that really good. A little bubble right there or something in there. There we go. Okay. So now we will get the other one. Move this one up here. I see a little bubble there. Okay. Got that out. And we'll get this color in. And again, like I said, it's definitely heating up, so, and that's primarily because it's very, you know, I did use the bubble remover, and it's warm. This one is going to be, I think, the perfect amount. So the square one apparently takes about a little more than an ounce than the octagon one. I am not going to put these in the heat mat automatically. I'll let them set for a little bit, let the bubbles rise, and then we'll put it on the heat mat and let them finish curing. And once it's cured, we will demold them, and off camera I'll make another one or two of one of these, like I said, because I have a plan for it, and I don't want to give it away. So if you're a little Kitty fan or a Hello Kitty fan or whatever, and it ain't pretty. Yeah, that one was pretty close to the perfect amount. It does leave a little room for putting a back coat on it if I so choose to do that. So what I'm going to do, we're going to move this over. Take our dotting tool first. Just make sure we don't have the bubbles there. Looks good. Shift it aside over here. And then, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and take, oopsie daisy, the rest of this pink from the kitty, and we're going to add it into this one. Be kind of cool, don't you think? And we'll swirl it. I'll still have to add a little bit more probably, but I'm loving these pink. So, and when we come back, I will be demolding them, and we will see how the holographic turns out, and then hopefully I'll get what I want to get done so we can finish it totally off, but we'll just see how it goes and play it by ear. Today was a spur of the moment. Alright, so that cup is also cleaned. Yeah, so here we go. I think these are going to be really pretty. Alright, my friends, so I will see you back once these have cured, and I've gotten another made up of whichever one I decide to do, and go from there. So I will see you in a little bit. Oh, I gotta get these gloves off. My fingers are so sticky. Alright, I'll see you back in a bit. Hey everyone, so like I said earlier, I was going to make another one of these and another one of these coasters, which I have. So now I have 2 each of those. I still have this one piece, and I made a ring holder with the leftover from all 3 of these. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to attempt to make what I'm going to loosely call shelves with a tray mold handle, which I may have to cut once I've, cured it, because I'm using Bond Crafter UV resin. This was sent to me by Tammy and Happy Mail from Epoxy Me That. Go check her out, by the way. So since I haven't used the Bond Crafter, I've used UV resin, Litch resins, and I've also used J. Diction and an off-brand. So tonight I figured I would use the Bond Crafter. So I intend to use the peach alcohol ink that I've used before and clear, so that I can kind of make it match these two. Obviously it says peach, but if you look at these pieces, that is more pink, a neon pink, than it is a peach. But whatever, we're going to try to match it. So let me get my UV resin mixed up. Well, not mixed up. Well, yeah, I guess it is, because I'm going to be using some of the alcohol ink. Now, I will be using the same UV lamp that I've been using. I'll link it in my description. Get this open. I apologize for not having it open before, but only a second. And this little thing comes in some of maybe your mica powders, and it's made specifically for opening like your full kind of things. So what I'm going to do first is mix up the pink in one of these little cups, and I'm not quite sure how much it's going to take, so we're going to mix up a good large amount. Now I can only do 2 of these at a time because there's only 2. So what I'll do is I'll make the first 2, and then I'll go off camera and make the second 2. And I want to make another 2 because I'm not sure how many is going to take for what I'm trying to make, which I really don't have a clear idea yet, but I do have kind of an idea. All right, so we're going to put, let me shake it a little bit first. I think I'm going to put 3 drops and see how that is. That's 3. And we will stir this up. So I was thinking of making one thing, and then I got to looking at it and playing with it, and I'm like, no, I don't want to make that. I want to make something else. Kind of practicing for maybe like a coasting through the week kind of thing with, you know, the coasters. I might get brave enough and sign up for one of those. So this is kind of a trial run using the hexagon coaster and then the square coaster. All of these items that I've made, they are holographic. The little cat one and the rectangle one, square one rather, I bought from Hobby Lobby. I can see the holographic in it, but not a lot like this hexagon one, which I don't remember where I bought it from, but once you know, with the right colors, you can actually see it really, really well, and I've showed that in a previous video. Yeah, so I think I'm going to give this, let's see, 1 or 2 more drops. And 2. So I do have some exciting news, which I'm going to put on the end of this video. So make sure you watch out for that. I am super, super, super stoked about it. I've also, you know, my subscribers are increasing, which, by the way, thank you, each and every one of you that have subscribed, liked, shared, commented. It means the world to me, so thank you for that. I want to grow this channel, and like I said, it's not about a monetary value. It's more about making things that make people smile or make them have happy thoughts. So, all right, so we're going to go with this color here, and I don't think I'm going to need that cup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour a little, or I'm probably going to drip some of this UV that I've mixed up, and then just oppositely pour in just some plain and clear. Now, what I do need to take a moment and do is put on my second pair of gloves, because I am highly sensitive to the UV resin. I don't know if that is just all brands or certain brands, but after the episode that I had that was 1 and 2, with 1 being the absolute worst, I am not willing to take that chance. So let me get this other glove on here. Got 2. Grab a paper towel and wipe the stick off. And that way we can also see how well it's going to match what's already made. And I think that's going to be pretty good. Alright, so we're going to let this set here just for a second, because I mixed a lot of bubbles in, my friends. A lot of bubbles. So we'll give that a moment or so, and then we'll try to get rid of those. And as you can see, this is kind of flimsy, so that's why I'm being super careful. I've got it on my insert from my UV lamp that I use, so that I can just pick it up and slide it in. So I hope that your day is going well today. I know here where I live at, it was pretty daggone hot. Now I'm going to grab one of my long-handled lighters and see if it wants to work today, because it wasn't working the other day. So we'll just go in here and see if we can pop some of these little bubbles in there. There we go. Excuse me. Gotta try a tickle. All right. So I'm going to take the clear first, just the UV resin, and I'm going to kind of do a squiggly line in there, kind of like this. trying to keep it on the inside of the mold, not on the outside, because that would be a waste. Okay. And then we will, goodness, excuse me, take our color here. Kind of do the same thing. Both sides. Oh man, that one came out really fast. And of course I made a mess. With my carpal tunnel, I sometimes have problems maintaining an area, but you know what? I've had surgery on my right hand twice, then I've had surgery on my left hand once. I'm supposed to have it again, but I'm not rushing. So I'm going to squeeze these little feet just to make sure that's in there. I don't have any bubbles trapped in there. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these colors aside, or that color aside, and I'm going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit, and then I'm going to cure it, and then I will put some more in, and we'll kind of do it in layers so that we can make sure that it gets cured properly. Doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of doing a little cleanup. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to do it for 2 minutes. Ooh, I hope that fits in there. I'm going to have to do it kind of sideways. So almost, well, it's a little too long, but that's okay. It's in there. So we'll do it for that time frame, and then we'll come back and we will continue on. So like I said, I have several things in mind to make with this. I did take some of the extra that I had made, well, some of the extra I had, mixed up some glitter with the colors, and I'm thinking about possibly using these in the piece. I'm not sure yet, but these are what I made, and they are already cured. Probably not the square one. But I'm thinking about maybe making some more hearts, or even using the smaller heart, oops, and these little round ones. These three maybe, you know, over here probably not, but I may use these. But aren't those pretty? Even if I don't, I can make earrings or pendants out of those, add maybe a charm or something to them. But I love the glitter that's in there. Okay. And those were just made with, like I said, the extra mixed up and in this mold. So I would like to make a few more hearts. I did get another mold from Temu yesterday that will help me do that, because I'm limited on some of the hearts. But this one, and like I said, it's from Temu. It's kind of like the puffy hearts that Julie at Pouring Your Heart Out makes. Just a cheaper version and probably not quite as deep. So we'll see. Alright, so that's cured a little bit. Okay, you can see that. We're going to go ahead and add in some more clear. And I think I'm rather than make the mess that I did, I'm just going to put these in there and then take my dotting tool and kind of swirl them. I'm probably apt to make less of a mess doing it in that way. My dotting tool here, which I need to clean off just a little bit before we do that. And all I do is just take a little penknife here, or whatever you want to call it, and craft knife, and just kind of slide it over and get that resin off so that my tip is clean. Alright, so we're going to take some of this pink and we're just going to kind of swirl it in there. It doesn't have to be perfect, because on these other pieces with this color in the coaster, you can see clear in, you know, areas because of the way that I did it. So if we have that here, then great. All right, so we're going to throw that back in. Whoops. Do it for another 2 minutes, and then the next layer we do should be the final layer for these. And like I said, I'm going to make 2 more of them off camera, and then once I've done that, and I hope that I'm ready to assemble whatever this creation whatever creation I'm intending to make, which again, I'm not 100% sure. I have it in my mind, but I will bring you back once this is done, and before I assemble, so that you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so we'll wait on this, and then when I bring it out, I will pause and bring you back again once I've got the other pieces made and we're ready to create. And for me, a lot of my crafts, it's all about creating. I love to create, and that's another reason why I absolutely adore Tammy, an epoxy that she is very creative on the fly. And I tell you what, 2 other people that I am subscribed to that I really like watching is Tara at Jaybirds, and also Linda's Resin Room, and then Marvelous Artsy. So shout out to all of you. Thank you for inspiring me. I so appreciate it. Okay. So, this is cured again. It's getting kind of warm. I'm going to go ahead and finish the last remaining layer off camera, make the other 2, and then we'll be back.